Family of Pete Frates is auctioning off sports memorabilia that he received from athletes across New England, and it is all to help other patients with ALS. There's a Bruins jersey autographed by Bobby Orr, a Red Sox base signed by David Ortiz, and a Patriots helmet signed by Tom Brady. Proceeds from the online auction will benefit the Pete Frates Family Foundation, which offers financial assistance to ALS patients and their families. Our Paula Ebben spoke with Pete's dad, John, who said Pete would be proud to give back.
Tell us why you're doing this now and where the money will go.
Perfect. Yeah, Pete, he gathered so much good from his career, not only as a sports guy, but then afterwards as such an ALS advocate. We were the recipient of so many wonderful interactions and generosity. And quite honestly, my fantasy was to open up an Ice Bucket Challenge museum in his honor. And once that faded, and realistically so, and we sold our big house where we could put and easily store all this stuff, we're like, how can we monetize this in a way where it can help our foundation, which is for people exactly in the situation we were in. In other words, assisting ALS patients who wish to stay as long as they possibly can in their own homes, which the daunting cost of healthcare is incredibly prohibitive. And we've been lucky and fortunate enough to have this vehicle of Pete's Memorabilia and the Family Foundation. So we're really excited about the response. We can't believe it.
Oh, I bet it's been incredible. Well, you've got some pretty incredible items here. Let me just go through a couple of them. There's a Bruins jersey autographed by Bobby Orr, a Red Sox base signed by David Ortiz, and a Patriots helmet signed by Tom Brady. And, he was such a tremendous athlete. He had such an impact on New England. As he received each of these gifts, what did they mean to Pete?
Oh, my. He felt that he was on an equal with a lot of these heroes. He was never shying away from the limelight. He could do that. He could walk that talk. I was in awe of everything that was going on. But Pete, when he played at that high level and he held himself at that same esteem, he was one of them. And whenever he had these interactions with these great athletes, we would gather mementos. And now it's our turn to literally pay it forward. We're just so proud of what Pete accomplished. We're so proud of him. And, this is our way of giving back, we hope.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit just about the logistics of how this works, because it's an online auction that's ongoing until early next week. So tell, if somebody wants to buy one of these items and own them, where they go, how much some of these items are going for right now, and how much you hope that they will participate in this auction, and what you hope to raise here.
Steve Burton always said to us that he's never seen a story like ours that had this kind of local legs. Steve Buckley always used to talk about Pete being one of the most profound, greatest athletes, and I was always wondering why he would say that. But now I see the impact that he's had on so many people's lives. It's offered by KBK Sports, and I'm hoping that you guys might be able to put up a link to the auction site, which is great. Thank you, because you caught me a little off guard on that.
No, that's okay.
But, I don't believe we're going to have any reserve on any of the items. So, for instance, that Bobby Orr signed shirt, Derek Sanderson signed shirt, expressly to Pete, has a significant amount of value because it was given to Pete by those famous athletes and signed over to him. He was so terrific when Derek was releasing his book, and Pete gave the speech that night, which I found to be remarkable. Here's these two incredible athletes in our hometown, and yet Pete is the one who gave the speech. And I wish the people who were there that night captured it, because I couldn't believe what was happening, and Pete really nailed it.
Amazing. Hate to put you on the spot. Is there one item that you think is particularly special?
It's funny. I was just reading some of the list of the items, and Curt Schilling gave Pete an autograph, which was remarkable because Curt had been especially his time in Philadelphia, he was really the big athlete doing all the ALS work. But what I found to be profound, and we have Game 1 stuff, Game U stuff, BC career, Lexington Blue Sox career, but what I found to be incredible is the auctioneer, we would just had a BC trash barrel that Pete's had his entire life. So when he was a child, all the way through till he used it in his dorm and beyond. But we were storing baseballs in that trash can. And the guy took a look at all the items and he said, you know, the baseballs, you know, are interesting, but they're probably more momentous to you guys. What about the trash can? I'm like, are you kidding me? I was going to throw that thing away. But that to me is the most unique item that's in there. So, and it's all legit Pete stuff. So
yeah, that's beautiful. You know, there are going to be some BC. There are going to be some BC alumni who are going to get their hands on that.
Yes. Well, I wore this for you, Paula.
I appreciate that. I just have to ask, you know, in the scope of everything your family has been through, the devotion that you showed to your son, but also the outpouring of love and devotion that you've shown to other families who are dealing with ALS, including this kind of auction, hoping that this money will help them moving forward. How do you hope Pete's legacy is remembered?
You know, I know forever he'll be memorialized as you know, an ALS patient. Of course, he's known as a tremendous athlete, and we're proud of all his accomplishments. But really the most is that night he sat us down right here at the dining room table and said, guys, you know, let's strap it on, put on our work boots, all this locker room jargon that he always talked in, and we're going to change the trajectory of this disease. This is my new team. I'm the captain of this team, and this is what I want to see accomplished. And that was his mission for the rest of his life. So here we are. We've always kind of been his arms and legs when he was failing, then his voice as that you know, was no longer functioning. And it's our legacy really for the rest of our life is to carry on his mission. And especially people who don't know us, but once they are stricken with the disease, they reach out, they find out about Pete, and by extension, they reach out to our family. And it's, you know, our pleasure to help in any way we can, because we kind of wished we had a mentor back then instead of learning the hard way.
Well, one thing I'll tell you, John, is Pete Frates will be remembered, as you say, as a tremendous athlete, an incredible fighter against ALS who helped others. But the one fact that is undeniable is that he was raised by two tremendous human beings. And that is the ultimate testament to your son.
Nancy is 1 3/4 of that equation, believe me. I know that. I know how fortunate I am. So thank you very much for saying that. But I knew at an early age Pete was going to really revolutionize not our family, not his community, but also the world. He had that profound impact on all folks. I think we built the foundation. His high school and college built the rest of his edifice, as you would say, and he was a gift to be shared with the world, and we're just so proud that he shares our family name.
And this is a chance for people at this auction to own some of the sports memorabilia that belong to him. So we hope that people will hop online and buy these auction items to help others battling this terrible, terrible disease. John Frates, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Paula. See ya.
And the goal is to raise $10,000. The auction runs through tomorrow. You can find the link on cbsboston.com.